Welcome. I'm Mayor Gary Sulz, and with me today is Evan Parliament, our CAO for the City of Revelstoke. As you may already know, some of the council members and staff attended this year's UBCM conference in Whistler. We were there to bring important community issues such as housing and old growth logging deferrals to the forefront with our meetings with provincial ministers and with staff. Today, Evan and I want to give you an update on how our delegate meetings went and the progress we made on behalf of the community. So, Evan, I want to talk first about our Minister of Forest meeting because we talked to the Minister, we talked to ministry staff about old growth deferrals, RCFC, the impact on the community, RCEC, because of course we use wood waste. So we talked to those sorts of things, and we actually spoke about some of the things that we're moving forward on, especially with our relationship with our Indigenous partners. So, from your perspective, the response from the ministers was positive.
Yeah, absolutely. The benefit of UBCM is when you book a meeting with the minister, you have about 15 minutes to basically outline the objectives of our community. And in the case of Old Growth Forest, what's nice is they also have staff that are there. And the senior staff that are there accompanying the minister are there to exchange business cards with staff people representing the city of Revelstoke like myself. So the benefit we get is you present the issue, the minister listens, and then we immediately get a contact person at the senior level of staff so we can advance that issue forward. And so we had several meetings on old growth and meetings with forestry, but it's that connection at the staff to staff level that is very beneficial to myself and staff.
And I really appreciate that. Appreciate that you were there, that council was there, and that the minister was open to what we're proposing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of the things that we talk about seems to be in the community just talk. And then when we get down there and the minister, and now we have their attention, and they're blown away with some of the things that we come up with. And I just appreciate the fact that we're able to talk about that. And the second thing we talked about, both with the Minister of Forests and the Minister of Climate Change, was about logging on Mount MacPherson and the trails and the impact of over tourism in our backcountry. Mm-hmm. And to actually hear them say that what we're doing as far as conversation in the community is a benefit. But that continues to where we have to go with our own funds, our own EOF funds, our RMI funds, to talk about how we can mitigate that. And we need to continue to have that staff conversation with Rec Sites and Trails BC.
Absolutely.
And how we're going to move forward with the 5 mile boat launch and all of those things so that we can clean them up and work forward. So. Yeah. How do you feel that one?
Yeah, so back to my earlier comment, what was nice about that particular meeting is a big shout out to Ingrid Braun, who also attended us.
Right.
She was able to give detailed specifics to this issue to those staff members attending that meeting, where they were taking notes and immediately the exchange of business cards. So in essence, the city of Revelstoke is on their radar because we had someone there at the staff level to provide specifics to help assist you driving that agenda forward. So that was another big benefit of having an additional staff person attend, because that's really what the ministry wants, is specifics on how to address a problem, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, and that really worked well. And to see the smile on the staff members' faces, or the ministry staff members' faces going like, okay, you guys have this down.
Absolutely.
So really appreciative of that. And so let's talk about housing.
Yeah, so one of the advantages when you go to either Whistler or Vancouver or Victoria, and those are really the three communities that have historically hosted UBCM, you get a chance to do what I call the unregistered tours, and these are opportunities to reach out to those municipalities that are hosting and sort of steal their best practices. And so what you and I did along with Councillor Nicole Charlotte, we toured the Whistler Housing Authority, and we spent 2 hours with their executive director. She was terrific.
Yes.
She gave us a great walking tour of what Whistler has done since 2010, when they built this housing complex to house the Olympic athletes, and then they converted those housing units into affordable housing units, attainable housing. The authority is different than a society, so we were able to steal a lot of best practices on how to create a housing authority moving forward for the city of Revelstoke. She gave us our business cards, and they are so welcoming and will offer any ideas and suggestions for another municipality. They were tickled pink that we spent the time with them. This was not part of the registration. This was something completely different, and you could tell the enthusiasm. So I really look forward to working with her and what Whistler has done to address seasonal housing, transitional housing, affordable, attainable housing, low-income housing, etc. The other advantage is we had several meetings with BC Housing. There are grants out there. There are RFPs issued. We are going to be very active, and we're going to be watching closely on both the capital and operating side of grants with BC Housing. And we let them know that we've got some ideas, because the city of Revelstoke does have assets. We do have land, and we're going to work with our partners, including our own local housing society. And so we've got some ideas on how to grab some funding in addition to CMHC funding and other opportunities.
And in addition to that, you know, I had a chance to have a conversation with our MLA when we were down there and talk to him about saying, you know, I want some land from the government. We need some crown land to build additional housing and some ways of doing it. The benefit of seeing what Whistler has done over a short period of time gives us great ideas of how we can do things here in our community. And will it take a bit of time? Absolutely. But now we have the groundwork, or the idea of the groundwork, as how we can work forward. And I'm just really excited about what we can do for our community.
Yeah.
So being there, the benefits just were astounding.
Yeah, like for me, being involved in local government a long time, what you do at UBCM is it's like planting a seed. And it doesn't come to full bloom until 3-4 years later. And so, for example, when Revelstoke attended UBCM in 2017, we're seeing benefits today by way of a grant announcement. So the seeds we planted in 2022, we're hoping in a couple of years they germinate, and that we receive the benefit of the time that we spent collaborating with our stakeholder partners, provincial government and others, on ideas to further Revelstoke. So even though you don't see an immediate return when you attend a conference, you know, trust me, folks, in time, when a big grant is announced, it was because we attended and we made our voice heard.
And that's really important. Thank you for stating that, because I think it's important for the community to know that when we go down there, it's work. We're there to make some inroads with the provincial government, and also with our communities that surround us as to how we can work together. So from my perspective, your perspective, the benefit of this is just astounding as we move forward. So Evan, thanks for joining me today. I'm glad we had this opportunity to share the results of the UBCM meetings. And thanks to all of you for listening in. Please be sure to watch our other videos that are on the City Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram channels. Appreciate you being here. Thanks again. And Evan, thank you for taking the time.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.